Good evening, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your SPDR-ETF stock market wrap-up. And this wrap-up's for a pretty wild trading day on this Thursday, the 11th of July, 7/11/2024. Wow. We're all waiting now for President Biden's news conference. He's always late. I'm convinced they in the back, they're either talking to him, overcoaching him, giving him Red Bull, I don't know, but something. I mean, you set up these news conferences and it's rude. You don't break when you're supposed to go. All right. When I looked at the markets today, I had warned you that if the numbers came in hot, what I thought would happen and what cold was. And I said that if you get in numbers that come in underneath the estimates, watch out. You could get the market to say, June goes into the column for the Fed, and the market will react accordingly. Now, what I did not expect was the massive unwind we saw, traders buying in a big way the small caps, traders buying in a big way the metal markets. That part I expected. I expected to see short-term bonds and notes, especially take a hit in terms of lower yield, and we're getting that. And you even saw that in the 30-year. The dollar taking a hit, that would be normal with it too. But I didn't expect to see the big move that we had in the IWM and the Dow. You notice that the techs, the big eight, if you will, lost ground today. So that was the interesting thing. Tesla down $22, not because of what the CPI number was, but because they have now taken their August meeting on robo-taxis and moved it to October. NVIDIA, well, I think this is directly related to the CPI. Amazon down, Netflix down. So the markets that had been carrying this market, Google down, Meta down $20, as you can see, Microsoft getting hit. This is what you're getting. Does it mean they have topped out? Not at all. Does it mean this could be where a correction sets in? Absolutely. Does this mean that the traders are refocusing a bit? They are. Now, we get PPI tomorrow. Okay. And then after that, we have to ask ourselves, what do we have coming up? Well, I can tell you one answer. I won't be here next week live. I'm taking my little time off for a week or so, and I will be back right after that. I will do my best to occasionally, I'm not promising every day to put up these reviews at the end of the night, but when I can, when I have some time, I will do them. I won't be on camera this way. I'll just bring up the charts and do what I normally do if I can get it done. It is my vacation. I don't take a lot of time to myself, and I really would like a few days. And I have every intent of just being gone a week or so. All right. So let's take a look at the gold market. Gold is moving back up, and here we are in these old highs where the market keeps failing from. Will this time be different because we're going to get a change of character? What do I mean by that? Well, if we can get July and August CPI numbers in labor to not get super strong here, then the Fed has reason for as early as September to begin the cuts. You'll hear people saying they're going to cut in July at the upcoming meeting. I don't know. I don't see why they would. The Fed doesn't like to surprise the markets. They plod along. We all know, I'll be right at the head of that line, that at some point they have to get away from data dependency to forward-thinking dependency. And I think that time could be if we get the July numbers. We're only at July 11th today, but if the July numbers that we get in early June come in such a way that this market can say, okay, we got two months in a row of these really weak numbers, you got it. And the Fed chair did allude, if you'll remember, over the past 2 days, that they've had 3 months of weakening labor. That's important. They do look at series of events. So as we look at the market, the trend is up. We're coming into a resistance zone and that pass zone here. But the trend is up until you take out this low where the arrow is. The market is back up and over the upper Bollinger Band. It has a habit of failing over those bands, but it is coming, and I pointed this out yesterday, it is coming from a lower number right here in terms of somewhat sideways action. Not as much as I'd like to have seen. The negative is you're overbought. So you either develop an embedded reading to really carry the market higher, or this rally can go a couple of days and all of a sudden you wonder why profit taking is hitting. In RSP, This goes hand in hand with IWM, the small caps. You've been going sideways, and all of a sudden you've got a breakout. One day doesn't confirm it. Get another day higher than today, closing right in the top part of the range. I will consider that an upside breakout. And until you take out these lows, I think what you've done now is the non-weighted, the equal weight S&P will start a gain here, and the weighted will get something of a pullback. Wouldn't surprise me at all. In Camco, when we're talking uranium, you're up to the upper Bollinger Band and you're overbought. This is where I think the professional money is taking money off the table. In Rivian, you have a market that's higher lows, higher highs, and running. Now, before I get too far, why don't we take a look? This is a good stopping spot for a moment here. Tomorrow, you're going to get the PPI indices. They're coming out at 7:30. They're looking for this up like a tenth, both on the weekly and year over year. University of Michigan, preliminary July Consumer Sentiment Index. They're looking for a gain of about 0.3 of a point, so nothing big here. And we're going to get at 11 o'clock the WASDE supply-demand report. I don't think that's going to turn out to be a major event for the grain markets. Later on in the season, yes, but this one, we just had one, and I think we pretty well know where we're at in some of that. All right? So, Rivian, by the way, now they're calling it the Tesla killer. It's not going to be a Tesla killer. Let's understand. It's a different price type of automobile, truck, auto, whatever you want to call it. They have a real nice truck. I don't think the Cybertruck is an exciting truck. I don't think it's practical in many senses. I think it's very futuristic. It's cool as can be for that. It's certainly a Hollywood car where I can pull up to the Ivy and give them my car and go, hey, look at my Cybertruck, and I'll have it wrapped in pink. You understand what I'm saying, whatever. But when you look at the Rivian, what they've got, it's a very different type of game. And we will see as earnings come out and they start telling us in all these what's really going on. Then in Freeport, well, today copper took it on the chin. So we watched the gold soar, we watched the silver soar. Copper got hit. Why? Because China's factory gate and CPI numbers were bad again. So they just keep coming down. China's got to figure a way out of this malaise that it's got itself into. It's not good. And they're not getting out of it, 1, 2, 3, and they do consume about 50% of the world's copper. In Lennar, well, you know, all the home builders had to be jumping on the offices, breaking out the champagne. Finally, we think we're at the point where we're not going to get higher rates and the government is ready to, via Freddie Mac, not really the government, lower rates. And we saw that today. We went down to 6.89 in fixed mortgages. So boom, you came right on up here. And that's the 30-year standard mortgage. XHB, same thing, to the upper Bollinger Band. So they came alive. And now you look at them and say, maybe those corrections are over. I'm not saying they're ready for big bull moves, but I am saying that we've got a maybe on the table. Why am I not saying a big move? What if July numbers come in hot? Then this June gain we made gets thrown back a bit. That's why you need to get the consecutive data coming in of weakness. In XLF, the financial services, well, they're jumping up and down. You know, you're not going to have to pay as much money. Just give you an idea of a bank. All right, maybe my deposits that I pay out, that I take in, I don't have to pay as much money on them. But boy, I'm making money on those loans. If you're still going to borrow, I'm not going to break that back of the market. In XLI, back up in the industrial sector. Again, interest rate sensitive, and that's what you have in manufacturing. XLE, the energy, it didn't respond. And Saudi Arabia, just so you know, in the whole energy complex, is decided that they got to start cutting back on their budget. They're not taking in the monies that they thought. So that beautiful city in the desert they're buying, they're going to cut about 1/5 of the budget on that and other items. It's in the news tonight. But you can see you're just whipping back and forth here. GDX, I'd expect on a day like today, you're over the upper band, and now you have that Gorilla Glue trade. So you're going to probably try to take this market and embed the market. On the first good break, I expect to see the buyers coming in under the Bollinger Band. Silver's not quite that pattern. It's running against the top band, but it's not locking in on it. The copper market, as you can see, just sort of waddling back and forth here, drops much more. It could go back on you to the 45.96 level. Bonds, TLT, so BND, TLT, well, they hadn't loved today's info. I expect to see the pros buying tomorrow at 93.02, putting stops under 91.87, and looking to see longer term, can they get up to the upper Bollinger Band? UUP, bearish, but under the band, could extend to this level here of 28.67 to 55 in the dollar, but you're already oversold, so I'd be very cautious. And in FXE, well, you're up here now at the upper band, you're in a resistance zone, the market was stalled out, but today's data makes the dollar weak, other currencies temporarily stronger than the dollar, and we'll see if we can get that to build on itself. That's going to be the important thing. Can all this build on itself? And that's what you got to keep yourself up with. Now, you see me talking all these different terms here. You know, we have our guide to technical indicators, both our volumes 1 and 2 ready for you. We made them into a PDF. They'll look like this on your computer screen. You get great graphics with it. The chart patterns come out for it. The explanation is phenomenal. You can do the trend lines, different types of charts, the bar, the candlestick, all the different ones that you want to work with, the pie charts and so on. The different types of oscillators, like I use slow stochastic, but there's RSI, there's Williams percentage R, there's many things. The Dow, Elliott, and the Fibonacci and Gann. If you're a cycle trader, Elliott Wave, it's laid out here, gives you a great explanation at the beginning. The Arun indicator, price-time relationship, and you know we have a free course on that. Of course, an options primer, there's so many people out there trading options, and money management. How do you get all this? It's simple. Just go to our website, IraEpstein.com, free offers, or move your cursor to the top here. And while on that, choose any other offers you want. Try the charting software package. Try the price counts. I think you'll like what you see. I'm Ira. I'll catch up with you in the morning.